and then sell on one of their stores. There's two types of stores. So basically, Printful and Spotify and Etsy, they use a service where basically the customer buys the t-shirt, and when it's bought, you, the designer, pays £10 the cost of the t-shirt, and basically you get your money back after like 2 weeks. So you'll get your profit and the cost of the t-shirt back, but you have to put the original outlay out. That's the first version of print on demand. The second version is you as a designer upload your t-shirt to different products, and basically you don't pay any of the upfront costs. The provider does. They provide the cost of the t-shirt, the shipping, and all that, and basically they give you a payment out as royalties. That's the one we're going to be focusing on today. And to do that, we will be using predominantly free services, but there is one aspect that might require you to have a financial cost, and that is Photoshop. Don't be daunted. Don't be daun- Don't be dismayed by the prospect. I know when people think about Photoshop, they get worried. So basically, where we're going to start off is Canva. Canva is an free online service where you can create and design your t-shirts, posters, logos, videos, presentations, and all that. We'll be using it to create our t-shirt designs. You need to sign up and create an account. It is free to do that. There is a pro version, but that's $14.99, and to be honest, you don't actually need it at the beginning. So we click the create design and then custom dimensions. So what we'll need is 4,500 by 5,400 pixels. This is the basic, this is the maximum size, sorry, for merch by Amazon. This is the what you need to go for. Hit create and it'll take you to a new page. Now this is the designer tool. The white page represents the t-shirt, and on the left you've got elements, which are photos which you can upload. You will notice that there's pound signs and crowns, and there's free. Free means that you can use it and without having to pay anything. The pound sign means you will have to pay a one-off charge. You can also pay a one-off charge for the Pro, but basically you could get this for free if you sign up to Pro. You've also got elements. Elements are pretty cool. Today we're going to do a coffee design t-shirt. So for instance, if we wanted to put a picture in, we can type coffee in here, and it will give you loads and loads of coffee designs. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay, but with the ones you do have to pay, it's usually like 99p, and it's almost nothing as an original outlay for a t-shirt. Over into the next bit, which is text. Text has got lots of prefabs, and the text thing is really cool because you can literally just drag it, the one you like, and put it in. But for instance, if you only like the top two but don't like the bottom one, you can simply select it, or the one that you don't like, go to this font bar here, and then you can literally just go through and find the font that you want to have a look at. You can play around with that later at your own leisure, but we'll be fine with the fonts that we've got. So what we're going to do is select the whole thing and ungroup. For this one we won't need the third font type. We're going to do a t-shirt called I Love Coffee. Capital I, love, and then in the second one, coffee. Now I find it best when you're happy with the way the layout is and way it is, group it together, and now you can use the slider bar to literally just make the picture as big as you possibly can, obviously keeping it within the white of the page. centering it, and then putting it to the top of the page. The main drawback with the free version of Canva is that when you download the finished design, the background will remain white. When you pay for the pro version, it will download in transparency, which will mean you won't need to use the thing that we're about to use in a second. Also, the important thing I find is to do the names. So instead of doing spaces, I do underscores, underscore coffee. Oh, I spell that. And if we leave it at that just for this stage. So now, we go to the download. If you had selected any items that needed to be purchased, it will ask you to put your credit card details in, and then you simply pay for it. I've used it many times and I've never once had a problem. It's quite safe and secure, but obviously we don't need to today, so all we hit is download and it will buffer up. You might get a upselling image like this, but just ignore it. It doesn't matter. It's just trying to get you to sign up. Now that's downloaded. So what we'll do is now we'll go over to Pixlr, which is basically a basic version of Photoshop, but it's online. It's completely free to use. It doesn't, even if you log in and register later on, it doesn't ask you for money at all, which is brilliant. So now you go to open the image, and we will select this one and click open. It doesn't really matter what setting you want. I would just leave it at the default and open. Now, as you can see, we've got our image, but we've got the horrible white background. So how we get rid of that is we go to the left bar, click the scissors, then the magic cutout tool, select the remove, and then simply click the background. Now the background will disappear. I find it looks better just to, when you use this kind of font, to cut out the make the letters, inner part of the letters transparent. It will literally just look a lot better, and it will stand out a lot more on a t-shirt. Now what you need to do is zoom in, and if you look, you can see on the black outline, but you can see this gritty white look on the outside. We need to get rid of that, otherwise it's going to look really bad on a black or grey t-shirt. So you go over to your brush tool, and then you make your brush larger, and I'll also turn the softness down. It just makes your life easier. And then literally just rub it out, rub the bottom half out first of all. I know you're going to probably think, what's he doing? But you'll see in a second. Now when you've done the bottom half, come back over to the magic tool, hit the keep button and select the black, and as you can see, the black's now come back in, and it's only kept the black and not the horrible white part. And just put it back for all the other parts, and you'll see later that it will stand out a lot better. Just so you can get my point, I'm only going to do the bottom half, and we'll leave the top half with the horrible gritty white part. Now we come to save. Now the way in which I do my t-shirts is when I download from Canva, I do the basic name. So I know that that's the pre-transparent template. Now I've took out the horrible gritty white that you can see and made everything complete. I put com for complete. So now I know that this is a completed template, and it's got the transparent white background taken out and all the letters look good. Hit download, and that's it. That's all we need from Pixlr. Now we're going to go over to TeePublic. TeePublic is a free online store. This is how you sell your t-shirts. I personally recommend TeePublic because of the fact that it's free. It doesn't cost you anything to upload your designs, and they're pretty good. Also, Merch by Amazon does a lot of products. You'll see in a second. TeePublic also does pretty much the same amount and extra products, and there's no extra charge. So when you've created a free account, you come to the home page, you select the icon, you go to upload design. No, you don't do that, we're not done yet. So we downloaded this. What we do is, before we go to TeePublic, is we go to Photoshop. This is how an important step, because this is how we take our very small background into a rather big background. So you'll come to this, you'll go File, New, and you want to select the same measurements in pixels that we did originally for Canva, and we can create it. Now you need to open up your template with Open a Smart Object, and you need to select I Love Coffee Com. You just ignore that part. And this is your template. We're going to need to move this over from this small template from Canva to the bigger Photoshop. So with the left mouse button, put a box around it, and then do hotkey Control, hold the Control button in and C for copy. Go back over to the new layout and then do Control V. And as you can see, Canva has made it, but he's made it very, very small. Now what we need to do is make this a lot bigger, otherwise it will look very tiny on the t-shirt. So put another box around it, and instead of doing Control C, we're going to do Control T, which is transform. And now these boxes will pop up. Do the corner and just drag it up and make it as big as you want. You know, if it's become really long but you want it the other way, just, you know, stretch it out, make it look how you want it. If it means go back down in size, then just do that a bit. Fine. Now what you need to do is line it up and then find the center of the page. Doesn't want to do it. We're going to assume this is the center. Now I'd never leave it at the center, I'd always put it almost to the top. Don't put it right at the top, because you need to imagine that this bit here is the neckline, the collar of the t-shirt. Now simply look, if you look at the letters, you'll see that it looks like the outer part of the letters is moving. That's the Smart Object feature. It's now making your image bigger, but without taking away any of the pixels from the picture, so you won't get a gritty look, it'll look pristine. Simply push enter when you're happy, and then Control D, oh, no, that's not Control D, Control D to deselect, and now your t-shirt's ready. When you're happy with it, hit File, Save As, and you'll notice that the format comes up as a default as PSD. We need to change this to PNG, which is this one here. And also, very important, you need to make sure you select the IC profile as sRGB. Basically what sRGB is a basically just an enhanced color profile, which will make sure that your t-shirts look at the maximum top. It's interesting note that basically if you want to upload anything to Merch by Amazon, it has to be in an ICC profile of sRGB. It has to be in this format to do it. So I find it, when you've finished your final design, I just find it easier to do it into sRG anyway. And then hit save. And let's just do replace, because that's something else. Also very important, you want your design to look as good as you possibly can, but you also want your file size to be very small, because certain uploaders has a certain maximum size. So keep it selected as smallest and slow, and hit OK. And when that's done, cool, that's done. Now what we need to do is go back to TeePublic, if I can find it. Cool, TeePublic. And like I said, we're back at TeePublic. Now we're ready to go to the profile picture and hit upload. And you'll get two options. So you've got a single file upload or multi-file upload. If you're going to do a t-shirt that has a front picture and a back picture, you need to do the multi file upload. But in this case, we're only going to do a single, so we only need the single. So you click the PNG, you select the RGB RSGB file, you open it, it'll take a few minutes to buff up, and then when it's ready, you'll see it. It will come up in a transparent background, just like that. Okay. So what you do is now you scroll down, and this is your uploader. The title, I would always keep it as whatever the title is of the t-shirt. If it's text, if it's not, then you put your title in. So we'll put I love coffee. With your description, I find it best to engage with the customer, to write a description that engages with them. Not, oh, this is a really great t-shirt if you love coffee. So let's jazz it up a little bit. So let's put, do you love coffee? Why not show the world with this cool tea? A simple description, you can put more effort into it, but just for the purposes of this video, this will do. Your main tag is the important tag. So this is the tag that should, what sums up your t-shirt. Obviously, what sums up this one is coffee. So we will put coffee. It will come up, try to get it to select. The main tag, you can only put one. What the main search parameter is to be. The other tags is optional, but I always find it's best to put at least a minimum of 3. Let's put coffee drink, a cup of coffee. So these are quite 3 generic ones. You can keep going down and adding as many as you like. I find it is better. Now you come to the designs. So this is the T. You can drag it about, move it about, wherever you like it to be. If it's too big or it's too close to the edge and you're worried, you can just make it a little bit smaller. Like I was saying earlier, with Merch by Amazon, you get 10 designs that you're allowed to upload. But the difference between Merch by Amazon and TeePublic is that if you wanted to upload this design to Merch by Amazon, you would get only one. The t-shirt, the hoodie, the tank top would count as one individual design each. So to do all of these, that would pretty much take up all your 10 designs. And instead of putting 10 individual designs on, you'd only put on literally one design with 10 variations. Which, unless you've got a really great looking t-shirt, that's going to really make it hard for you to, your business to get off the ground. So to make the specific item active, you need to select the default colour. Now when you're selecting this, don't worry so much. You want to select one of the eye-catching ones, one of the bold ones like red, blue or royal blue. Let's just select red for this one. But don't worry, because of the fact that, literally after you've done this, the customer still gets like 20 or 30 different types of colours they can choose from. which is literally down here. So they can always just change the colour if they don't like red. So don't think that just because you selected that colour for this, that's going to be on it forever. As you noticed, when you selected the red, quite a lot of the other generic ones went to red as well. Some of the specific ones that need, like this one doesn't have red, it has heather red, so it needs you to actually go in and select it. With kids stuff, I find it, I personally don't ever bother with the kids stuff because of the fact that, you know, if your design's quite out there, the guidelines might flag it up and then it will take the whole design down, so everything will come down. So I just find it easier not to select the kids, just in case. You got the crew neck, and also the baseball tee. I find it always better to do the opposite of whatever the colour of the letters are. So if the letters are black, then do the main part white and the extra part black, or you could do white and blue, white and red, whichever you think. Now you can come down here. So these are the added extras. These are like the little merch products that can come with your designs. You don't have to pay anything, and you know this could you know, if someone buys a t-shirt, they might want the badge, the cup, the pillow. But with some of them, like the iPhone cover, the mug, the pillow, and the button, and sometimes the magnet, they do need a little bit of adjusting, like this. Otherwise, it's going to look weird. With this one, with a lot of text-heavy designs, you know, you will have to make it smaller to fit in. But for me, I don't like it like this. You can always just turn it onto its side, and then you can keep it quite big. And also, you know, I think it looks a lot cooler that way. We'll go over to the pillow next. Now, the reason I selected the pillow is you can see the white grit around the letters on the top half, and the bit on the bottom is clear and black. So this is what I was saying to you earlier on in Pixlr. It's always a good idea to invest a bit of time into making sure that all the letters are transparent and that you take away all the white. Otherwise, you know, when it comes to this stage, if you haven't done it and you get to this stage, you're going to have to go back to the very beginning to start again, which is just going to cause you hassle and make designing a lot harder. When that's all done and you're happy with it, all you do is select I have red and then hit publish. And then that's it. Literally, there's no limits with TeePublic as how many designs you can upload. You can upload as many as you like. The way I look at it is the more t-shirts you upload, the more chance of people getting recognised, and you know, all your designs will go to your storefront. You can customise your storefront with a banner, make it look like a proper shop. So say, for instance, someone really likes your coffee design and they come to your store, and then they'll see all your other designs and they might think, oh great, I'll get this design as well. I'll get a case or a mug or something else. But when you've, you know, got 5, 10, 20 designs, you might want to start branching out. There are some other good stores like Teespring, T-Mill, Merch by Amazon's another good one. Like I said, but with Merch by Amazon, you have to pretty much just do one t-shirt, and then, you know, just so you can get 10 designs. But that's something for another video. I hope you found this helpful, and good luck, and hopefully I'll see your t-shirts out in the real world.